So if you don't want to vote for Karen Bass on June 2nd, I get it. But you better find somebody else to vote for.
Bill Maher has a meltdown over Spencer Pratt because of how popular Mr. Pratt has become in this race to become LA's next mayor. Sit back, relax, enjoy this. It's going to be a funny video for the weekend because we got a lot of Spencer Pratt meltdown compilations for you today. All I ask in return is for you guys to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Do you still think that 9/11 was an inside job?
What I've learned, almost 20 years later, is it's actually the negligence of the people in power. I would have loved to have gone along with when my house burned down and my parents' house burned down, everyone saying it was lasers, it was a land grab, it was just like Maui, but it's not. The reality is people in charge fail us as taxpayers. And when you're listening to that audio, that's a 21, 22-year-old person. I'm now 42 and have experienced city negligence, state negligence. And I've learned a lot about it. It's actually worse than a conspiracy. It's that we have people in charge that make mistakes that get people killed. So unfortunately, I was young and naive to understanding how there is people that will fail citizens across the board. And I would have to go back and look at all that. I haven't watched any of those things in 20 years or whatever. But I bet now with my fresh eyes of surviving the city's negligence that burned 12 people in my neighborhood alive, 7,000 structures, and seeing how fast the internet was said that was a conspiracy and how I had to be like, no, this is how it happened, this, and this. Now with new fresh eyes, I'm sure I would look at that a lot different. I think anytime we see something that's just so shocking and unbelievable, we as humans want to try to find excuses, but sometimes the excuses are just real simple. People failed us as taxpayers.
So that interview was in 2009. You were almost, it was in July 2009, so you were almost 26 years old, just to be clear. Do you regret saying that? I mean, do you now accept that 9/11 was because of al-Qaeda terrorists, not because of an inside job by the U.S. government?
Well, no, again, what I'm saying is I believe a lot of people failed to allow the al-Qaeda terrorists to get in. So I think the negligence in government allowed, not on purpose, but just failures. They didn't burn my...
Like, this has nothing to do with the mayoral candidacy race. Pull up some shit that CNN said from back when they were in high school, right? Like, it's the equivalent of that. It's so ridiculous that this happens. They have nothing against him right now, so they go deep into his past. Honestly, who cares? I mean, people entertain the conspiracies all the time. It's irrelevant to being the mayor of LA or not.
I had Spencer Pratt on my podcast the other day. I think it drops. You know what? I know I'm supposed to hate him. I don't.
He runs great ads.
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy. Yeah. He's what's charming about him is he has no advisors. I mean,
he's pretty much doing it all himself, and he was able to raise so many millions of dollars, over $4 million during the time of his entire campaign. And you've got centrists like Joe Rogan that say, hey, look, I like the guy, he's great. Now Bill Maher is saying the same thing. I mean, it really is, he's really a common sense guy. He's not left, he's not right, he's just a dude who had popularity from, television way back in the day, similar to the president. And he's like, you know what, I gotta fix this mess, I gotta fix it because no one else is fixing it.
Confronted him on this and this you're gonna have to think about. No, I only care about the issues I care about. So he's very honest about that. It's funny because he's running as a Republican and doing quite well. Everybody out here is like, what do you think of Spencer Pratt? He's on everybody's mind. I was asking him about that. He's very un-Californian in that way for a guy who's from California.
He's not running as a Republican. He is more Republican leaning, through because of ways like, self-defense and because of the fires that burned down his or his parents' house and things like that. But being the mayor of LA, you're not Republican or Democrat. You just are the mayor or you're not the mayor. If you're watching this channel, chances are you already know how crazy things are getting online. Between censorship, data tracking, and companies selling your private information, your privacy is under attack 24/7. That's why I use Private Internet Access VPN. It's one of the most trusted VPNs out there with millions of users, and it does exactly what you think it should. It protects your data, hides your IP address, and lets you browse the internet like you're supposed to. privately. And here's the thing, your internet service provider can legally track and sell your browsing data. That's not a conspiracy, that's real. Private internet access encrypts your connection so they can't see what you're doing. It's also insanely useful if you want to travel or just want unrestricted access, whether that's streaming, news, or content that gets blocked depending on where you are. Setup takes 2 minutes. With one click, you are fully protected. So if you care about your privacy, and honestly, you should, click the link down below in the description or scan the QR code on your screen and you get 83% off plus 4 months for free. You also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally zero financial risk just to try it out. Get protected, stay anonymous, and take back control of your internet.
This city is a mess. That is something that became especially obvious during the fires. But the people running the city, when you say this place is a mess, they go, no, actually it isn't. We're doing a lot. And then we look around and go, I'm not seeing it. And then they go, oh, it's there. Things are looking up. And this makes the people who live here upset, especially people whose homes and neighborhoods burned down and are trying to run businesses with people who need help sleeping in front of the door of their restaurants because they have nowhere else to go. They're frustrated.
LA is disgusting. It's disgusting what's happened to LA. Personally, I have never been. I only see footage online. And well, I've driven through LA actually many, many years ago when I was doing a road trip. But I don't know if I ever want to go to LA if it's going to be managed the way it's currently managed, because I don't want to get stabbed by some schmuck on the side of the street. And I would rather not have my kids be exposed to the amount of people in the, you know, like addicts and stuff like that out on the street. So unless they clean things up, I don't think I'm going to LA anytime soon.
Frustrated because nothing seems to change. So then you get a guy who was on a reality show, who's on a lot of reality shows. His profession is to be the screaming jerk on reality shows. And his house burns down. And even though he had no private insurance on his house and doesn't believe in climate, he is understandably upset about his house burning down. And since he's a moderately famous person, he gets attention. He's on the news, he's on social media, and for the first time in his life, people are agreeing with what he has to say. It's hard not to agree with.
It's literally common sense. He's not saying anything that is really disagreeable. It's like saying, well, you look up and the sky is blue and water's wet and fire's pretty warm. So yeah, let's get to it, right? Like, it's just literally common sense. But that's how far left places like LA have become, where somebody gets up to a microphone and they speak common sense. And it's like, wow, look at him. He's saying all the truths. It's literally common sense. Not to put down what Spencer Pratt is saying, but I think he's a great candidate in the right place at the right time.
Does he have solutions to those problems? No. And yet he's polling in second place. And if he's one of the top two candidates after the primary next Tuesday, a week from tonight, he will be one of our two choices for mayor of Los Angeles. So if you don't want to vote for Karen Bass on June 2nd, I get it. But you better find somebody else to vote for. And preferably somebody who isn't wasting our time and money to get himself back on television.
Wow. Spencer Pratt actually has a bunch of decent ideas. So it's very weird that Jimmy Kimmel's trying to bash him down and knock him down, right? And what's ever happened to late night shows? They've become so overly partisan and political. It's actually disgusting, right? Hey, yeah, no, don't vote Spencer Pratt. Why don't you say that about Karen Bass? Why don't you say, hey, actually, the person that destroyed LA is currently the mayor running for re-election. Why don't we vote her out? Why don't we get Karen Bass out of that office, right? Why not say those things? Why always go after more right-leaning people? Oh, I see what's happening. Yeah, it's the script. It's the script. They don't want right-leaning people in power ever.
Have you seen what's this Spencer Pratt's, his last commercial, that AI about he's Batman?
No.
You have to see it, because he has this AI commercial as Batman, and it put Mayor Bass as the Joker, and they put Newsom as, like Louis the 14th, eating cake. And I'm telling you, now,
it's the funniest thing. This guy has found a way to utilize AI at the right time, the right place, and he is skyrocketing in the polls due to his viral marketing. It's quite a stroke of genius, to be honest. And I hope, because you've heard Elon Musk say this in the past. Maybe you haven't, but I have. Elon Musk has said, because of the timeline we live in, the funniest outcome is the most likely outcome. And right now, the funniest outcome for being the mayor of LA is having Spencer Pratt run as mayor. Not because he's a joke, but because it's pretty funny to have the president who used to be on reality TV, the mayor of one of the most powerful cities in the world, as, somebody who used to be on reality TV. And it's just bringing back common sense. That's all it is. It's not, I'm not dismissing Spencer Pratt. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I think he's a phenomenal candidate to fix LA, but that is, out of the options, that is kind of the funnier of the options, right? Which also coincides. Two things can be true at once. Not only is the funnier one, but it's also the most common sense option as well.
Whatever happens in this election, any other election, I guarantee they are, it put him dressed like French, eating cake, and you should check it out. Because,
I will.
Yeah,
and this obviously this is all from AI, so he made it with AI, but ran it as a real campaign ad. I mean, he's not legit. He's not denouncing it.
Well,
it's freaking hilarious, and it's an absolute stroke of genius. And we're just days away. We're just days away from the election taking place and figuring out who is the next mayor of LA. So let me know down in the comments what you think is going to be the outcome of that election, who you'd like to support, either as a voter in Los Angeles or as an outsider looking in, who you just like to support to see win that race. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.